Okay. It doesn't. I don't need. I just want to. Yeah. So it's recording already. Okay. How do I go to the PowerPoint slides? Here. So I just go here and just start. Uh, okay. This thing just hide it. Okay. Thank you. Hey Sharon. Sorry to keep you waiting for this. So anyway. Okay. So yeah. I suppose you can cut it out. You know. Yeah. Hi everyone, this is Alvin Huang, CEO of Success Vantage, and really privileged to be able to get on this video call with you guys for Digital Marketing Summit Asia 2016, and I'll be covering a topic about generating unlimited traffic, aka list marketing. Okay, so just to tell you a little bit more about myself, I've actually been doing internet marketing since 2004. Back then, I was still an undergraduate at Singapore Management University, and I was really lucky to get started young. And then I started Success Vantage in 2008, and we just grew on from then on. So yeah, we're mainly in the direct response digital marketing field, and we mainly do two types of products. First being information products, and the second supplements. So what do I mean by that? Okay, well, for information products, we basically sell products in a few verticals: personal development, health, or business opportunity. Basically, when a prospect comes to our website, and if they do choose to buy our product, they just need to download our product in the form of a PDF ebook, audio training, or video training. So that's what I mean by information product, because they're basically buying information and solutions from us, okay? And yeah, they can just download it. So there's no inventory cost at all, okay? And in the last 1.5 years, we actually ventured into health supplements. These are supplements that it's R&D is done in the US, and we manufacture it in the US, and then we market it. Of course, for this, there's some inventory costs. Yeah. So we mainly specialize in just doing selling stuff online, e-commerce basically, and our target demographics or target customers usually come from the US and Europe region. Okay. And throughout the years of doing this, we're glad to say that our team has grown year after year since 2008. And we finally, now we have a small team of over about 23, 24 people, I think. And last year we managed to double our revenues to over $4.5 million, and we're hoping to do the same this year. We're looking to break. The eight-figure mark in terms of revenues, and I think a huge part of this being able possible to grow our company like 50 to 100% year after year is because we focus a lot on lead generation and on list marketing, which is hence this is a very topic that's very close to my heart, and I'll be sharing more about that with you guys shortly. Okay, so this is the agenda for today. We'll talk about generating unlimited traffic, how we can build your list with ACE. Okay, it's a three-step formula, which is mainly attract, convert, and engage. I also talk about an alternative traffic source, beyond Facebook and Google, so that you can grow your list of prospects and customers as a much at a fast rate too. And of course, I'll cover any questions that you have, Sharon might have later on. Okay, so as you all know, okay, a website is only useful when people visit it. And, the more people you have visiting your website, the better. If not, it's akin to a retail shop without anyone walking into it. So there are many ways to generate visitors to your website. There are both paid and free methods. Um, but if you have a normal website, I mean, just think about it. If a prospect visits your website, they look at your information, they look at your product or service, and then if they decide to leave, it's a prospect that's gone. It's a visitor that's unlikely to come back, right? So, in this instance, we want to be able to capture prospects who might be interested in follow-ups later on. Hence, when you do get their information like name and email, which I'll talk about later on, more in depth, you can then be able to communicate with them on a constant basis and hence generate unlimited traffic. So the key thing here right now is to able to recycle your traffic. You know what I mean? So that whatever traffic that you buy, you can reuse it again, rather than it being just a one-time off transaction. Yes. So, like I said, it's about getting back control of how a person revisits your website, so that when they, if you do some lead generation, you can get them to revisit your website at different time intervals, a month later, or 2 months later, because of a promotion that you have, a discount that you have, or maybe an interesting article or content piece that you put out. Okay. And the whole reason that you want to continue communication with these people, your prospects, is basically to provide content to build rapport and trust. Because it's very hard in this current age today to kind of make a first, when they visit your website, that's the first impression, right? They have of your company, your website, your products, or your services. So you want to be able to continue communicate to them with them so that you can build more trust and rapport. And I think the key thing is to also at the same time entertain them and keep them engaged, because a lot of marketing communication done nowadays is kind of dry, and it's more like one way, whereby, hey, buy my product kind of communication. But here's the thing, there's prospects, visitors, people all around the world are now being bombarded with so many forms of advertisements all the time. So you want to stand out. So you want to, at the same time, entertain them, keep them interested, and then educate them about your product, right? And of course, whenever you have special promotions or discounts or a new product launch, you can then inform them of your latest offer. So the key thing that you need to do is to actually collect their information, which is in this case build a data a list, a database. So you want to collect their name, because with that you can then communicate with them by sending emails to them. Okay, so why emails? Here's some research, okay, about engagement on emails. Um, it drives more conversions than any other marketing channel, including social media and search right now. And about 81% of online shoppers who receive emails suggest other similar, you can actually suggest other related products to them, and they are more likely to make a purchase. Plus, email is 40 times more effective uh, in converting them to new customers rather than a social platform like Facebook or Twitter. Yes, because in a sense, email is more personal to a certain degree. Um, because when you're emailing them, they actually have more time to look at your email. It could be an EDM, it could be a content piece, it could be a promotion. But the touch point is so much more personal rather on Facebook or Twitter, whereby it's still personal on Facebook and Twitter, but it's kind of more, how do I put it? the things move so much faster on Facebook and Twitter. You're clicking here, you're seeing this advertisement, and then you're seeing this content piece, and you're talking to friends. So people don't really have their full attention when they're on Facebook or Twitter, compared to email, where at least you have more of their attention. Okay, and a lot of people, in fact, marketing Sherpa showed that 72% of people actually prefer receiving promotional content via email instead of social media. I think it's a thing about consumption, and people view social media like Twitter and Facebook, more as something to do for leisure and less to buy some products. Okay, and why email? Well, the ROI in email has been shown to be really high, over 3,800%. Plus, McKinsey did a research, and they found that average order value of email is almost 3 times as much higher than social media. So people, who receive emails buy more than if they were to buy through social media. I would think it's the same reason, because when you're reading an email, you tend to have more time. Hence, when you go and when you click on it and you go to, the website, you actually have more time to decide whether you want to buy that and whether you want to buy more stuff, rather than when you're on Facebook. Maybe you're just waiting in line in the queue. You're trying to get some food and you're just Facebooking, and then you click on it. So you don't have so much time when you're on Facebook. Okay. And Campaign Monitor shows that for every dollar spent, email marketing generates $38 in ROI. So email marketing is definitely here. If you're not utilizing it yet, you definitely want to use more of it. you want to start using it, sorry. And if you're using it already, I mean, there are ways to further leverage and expand upon it. Okay. So if you're not already on a third-party email marketing platform, here are just some recommendations. There's Aweber, Sandlane, GetResponse, MailChimp, and a lot of others. Basically, what that third-party email marketing platform does is that it allows you to collect names and emails, okay, on using their platform, and then allow you to actually send emails to these people. Okay, and also there are a lot of automation process which you can use with these email marketing software. Um, Rather than if you were to just actually use your own web posts and send out an email through Gmail or Outlook, if you're doing huge numbers, your emails will actually go into the spam box. So I mean, you definitely want to use either one of these third-party software to actually manage your email marketing. Okay, so let's talk about how the process, how it actually works. So basically, you eventually want a squeeze page. Later on I'll talk more about that. Basically, it's a page whereby you make an offer to them, to the prospect, like it offers something of value to them, and in return you ask for their name and email. Okay, and then after they enter that, you actually send them to what we call a thank you page. So that's where you actually deliver on what you promised them. It could be a coupon code, it could be a white paper that you wrote, give them download links to it. And then on that thank you page, you also want to have a subtle soft sell, a banner, or a write-up that actually leads, if they click on it, it leads to where you're selling something. Okay, so it's more subtle because you offer them a free gift of something of value, so you want them to consume that. But at the same time, you definitely want to promote whatever you're intending to promote on the thank you page too, because a certain percentage of people will actually move on to buy something after that. Okay, so this what is the three-step system I want to talk about? ACE. Um, it's about attract, convert, and engage. So any weak link in any part of the stages would actually slow down your list building efforts. So you definitely want to pay attention in optimizing, these three phases. Okay, so let's talk about attract first right now. Basically, to start list building and collecting names and emails, you need to create what we call a lead magnet. Okay, a lead magnet is basically a free offer that you make an offer to people to get their emails. Okay, um, because if you think about it, getting their email is a transaction. You want it, so you have to offer to them something that they want. So your job is to sell the idea of why they should subscribe to your email list, and you really need an attractive offer to do it, right? So you want to understand the demographics of your target customers. Are they male or female? If you, I'm sure, pretty sure you know the age group. You know the needs and wants of your audience. With that, you can then design a lead magnet that would appeal to them. Okay, the speed of your list building would hugely depend on your lead magnet, because if you design a very bad, lousy, and unattractive lead magnet, you have very little signups. Okay, if you have an attractive lead magnet, then you have tons of signups. Okay, so these are examples of websites which have which are trying to collect emails. They have a newsletter sign up, but these are not lead magnets. Why? If you look at this example, basically it just says join our mailing list, right? It says join our weekly newsletter list. Just enter your email below. Honestly, I mean, there's no benefit to the visitor, the prospect, to actually join it. And then what does joining your weekly email list even mean? Like I said, you want to offer them something that's attractive to them. Okay. This is another example of not a lead magnet. They say subscribe to our newsletter to get the latest scoop right to your mailbox inbox. So it tells you a little bit, like it tells you, okay, you get the latest news, but what latest news are they talking about? You need to be specific. Okay. So let me give you some examples. Okay, this is a Nutrio 2, a supplement that we sell. So this is a screenshot of the squeeze page that we have. So we have a headline which talks about what they're going to get. Okay, so we're going to teach them, in this case, learn how this one simple ingredient could very well be the cure for all diseases. And it gets better, it's virtually free. So in this, we are actually making an offer to them to tell them about this special ingredient, and it's almost free. But the report that we're giving to them, it's free. So we ask them for their name and email. So this is a very good example of we're offering them something specific. Okay, for this our demo, we know what our target demographics want, and so hence we're doing this. Let me give an example more closer to home, Singapore, Zalora. Zalora is an online shop clothes e-commerce website. So if you go over to Zalora, you actually see, it's an e-commerce portal, and when you first visit them, you see a pop-up, okay, and this is what you'll see. Basically, they said we felt a connection. Did you? In a nutshell, they're just trying to give you a coupon, $15 off your next purchase, okay. So so far they haven't asked for name and email. So I give you two options. Yes, I did. Send me my discount. No, no thanks. So I mean, if you click on yes, they would then ask you, okay, where should we send you your discount? And they ask you to enter your email. And in this case, they are also segmenting it for women and men. So you have to choose your lady or a man. And I believe they're definitely looking at the data and seeing, are they getting more women or men signups and all that. So this is where the lead generation happens. In this case, it's a discount. Okay. And then once they enter your email, they'll actually generate the coupon code for you immediately. Okay, so this is what I would say is the thank you page, whereby they deliver uh, on the gift that they promise you. They promise you a $15 coupon. Immediately, it's generated, right? And after that, they actually have a link that allows you to then continue to buy stuff. Will be it like shop woman or shop man, right? So this is a key point that I want to illustrate. A lot of people who do lead generation online, after they offer the free gift or a free coupon or a free whatever you're offering of value to them, they just end that page right there, right? You don't want to do that. You want to deliver whatever you promised them, and at the same time, you can do a subtle sell so that they can continue to buy other products of yours if they do want to, right? This is another example, Rike. It's a project management system. So in this case, if you go to their website, they'll ask you to enter your email, and then they'll give you a 2-week free trial. So this is, I mean, it's like a freemium trial model whereby they collect, and then they persuade you to buy the paid version after that. But it's also lead generation, right? So they're offering a trial for that. So these are just different examples of different ways different companies are using, like a coupon, a trial, a free report to do lead generation. Okay, so how right now I actually cover on how you can actually build a good lead magnet for yourself. Okay, so firstly, like I said, you must understand what your prospects want. Okay, you have to remember it's not what you want to give them; it's about what they actually want. You have to wow them. Just now I talked about demographics, about male, female, because depending on your customer segment, if it's more female orientated, the way that you name your gift, your lead magnet is different from how you would name it if it was a male demographic. And you also want to give a very specific solution. um, you know like the coupon was just $15 off. For your Nutria 2 supplement offer, I was telling them that there's this simple ingredient that might cure all diseases, right? So it's a very specific solution. You can't just tell them, hey, get the latest news. You have to be specific. Okay. Let me give you an example of what I felt was a bad example personally. There's setlouis.com. It's actually a food blog in Singapore. There are lots of food blogs in Singapore because a lot of people love food. Okay. So it actually covers different food reviews. It talks about different foods in Singapore. It reviews the restaurants, the cafes, the hawker food, and all that. And in the past, he had this lead magnet where he offered F&B marketing system. Okay, it was really weird because I mean you would think that people who would visit the blog, he has a lot of posts, he's pretty strong, that will go viral, actually come to see, oh, the food reviews, right? Because these are all foodies. So you have a lot of foodies actually, looking at different parts of your website, reading, consuming his content, his articles, looking at his pictures. And then there's a lead magnet which tells me, a foodie, it offers and talks about how he can actually help you with F&B marketing. And it's like, wow, I would say a big percentage of the people, the prospects visiting your website are foodies. They are interested in food. know more, telling them how to start an F&B system, F&B outlet, right? So it didn't make sense. It was so weird. So this is a classic case of, I believe, I'm guessing his intentions, he was intending to monetize the blog by offering F&B consulting marketing services. But, you could see straight up that it wasn't a match with the people who were visiting his website. Now I felt it's a bit better. Right now, if you go to Set Louis, he actually offers a lead magnet whereby he offers 26 cooking hacks that will make you a better chef. So, I still don't think it covers everything, all the visitors, because most people go there, they just want to see, okay, where should I go and eat next? But he talks about cooking, which I'm sure some of them do. So, but in a nutshell, it's much better. But the key takeaway you want to remember is you have to focus on what people, the visitors and prospects are coming to your website for, and then give that to them because it makes it so much easier that way. Okay, secondly, immediate gratification. Okay, whatever you're offering to people, make sure that they can consume it fast. Because your visitors want a solution right now. So don't make it like a long 7-day e-course whereby they have to wait through 7 days before they go through your entire free gift, your entire lead magnet. They want people, right, in today's world are so they want to consume it immediately. So you want to take, you know okay, high percentage immediately. Because you're giving away something for free doesn't mean that it's cheap, right? So you want to keep your design professional. You want to make it look really atas, make it look really high end, even though it's free. To be honest, just because you're giving some thing away for free doesn't mean the value is low. Your design is good, perception is everything. So at the same time, I know I talk about immediate gratification, but you also want to make sure that your lead magnet is easy to consume. A lot of people sometimes they go overboard. They're so excited, they want to offer so much value to their visitors that they create this massive ebook, massive course, massive free program, which has like 100 to 200 pages of content. You don't want to do that. Why? Because if you give them something that's so lengthy, just imagine how long would they take to consume your material. If they take a month, then they might have forgotten about you. So similarly, you don't want to give like away two like really long video tutorials, like a 2 hour long one, because you want to make sure that the lead magnet that you give to them offers value, but at the same time, it's very easy for them to consume within in like 10 to 15 minutes. The faster the better. Because if you remember, as I talk about the funnel, after you give them the, at the thank you page, after you give them whatever lead magnet gift that you want them to consume, you want to subtly sell something and lead them onto the sales page. So if you give them something that takes really long to consume, they're not going to go and look at your, whatever you're selling later on. So it will backfire. So this is something very important you want to think about. Okay, and of course, fifth, you want to pre-frame your prospects for the eventual sale. So you don't want to give away something that is not relevant to what you're eventually selling. So it has to be related. If not, there's no point giving them something, a free gift, which after they go through it, they say, hey, this guy knows his stuff about this. And then when you try to sell them other stuff, it's like it's not related. So you must make sure it actually, ideally, your gift pre-frames the eventual sale. So, I mean, a very good, easy example is, of course, Zalora and their $15 coupon, because they're basically giving you a coupon to buy the stuff, right? So that's a very simple tie back. For the supplement, basically we're gonna disclose to them a secret ingredient, and then we're gonna do a lot of research studies about that ingredient and tell them where they can get it for free. And of course, we can then tell them, oh, but if you don't go through all that trouble, actually you can just buy our supplement. It makes it so much easier. So that is an example of how we actually pre-frame prospects for the eventual sale. So there's something you also definitely want to pay attention to. Okay, and now we move on to, okay, so what kind of lead magnets can you actually give, right? Depending on the type of business that you're in, For example, if you're a coach, consultant, or trainer, you can give away things like white papers, reports. You can do a short video tutorial giving value on a specific topic. For example, say if you're a dog trainer, maybe you want to give a quick 5 to 8 minute video teaching people how to potty train their dogs. Because whenever someone has a new dog, that's the first thing they look at: how to potty train it, to train the dog to pee properly, right? So you can always deliver value in doing a video tutorial on that, a short, quick one. And then while you give it away for free, later on, of course, you can then subtly sell your dog training program, because after that, the home dog owners would then want to know more dog training techniques, right? Yeah, you can do an audio recording, or for certain coaches, there's ways to do assessment or tests. People love to do that. Yeah. Okay, so these are ways. If you're in the service business, like hair salons, pest control, or maybe restaurants, you can give away free coupons. Something like maybe for hair salons, you get a free wash if you buy, if you take up a certain package, you know, buy one get one free, things like that. I mean, you have to be creative. I'm not going into specific details, but these are different things that you can give away. Okay. Then also you might also cover things that a prospect needs to know before engaging such a service. For example, say like pest control, like 5 things you must always ask before you engage a pest control company, things like that, so that you're actually educating them and showing authority, whereby they will then, oh yeah, I mean, this makes sense, yeah, they have a pest problem, but they want to make sure you want to give them guidelines on how should they vet which company to hire. And when you provide them with this kind of guidelines, like I said, you look like the authority. You are the authority, so they'll trust you more, and they're more inclined to actually engage your services compared to other people. Yeah. And or at the same time, you can do DIY education content, whereby you say, oh, okay, depending, maybe you do carpentry services, so many different kinds of services. So you actually provide content to them to actually do it themselves. So you say, hey, you know, um, if you want to say do renovation, like put up wallpapers, this is how you can do it, step by step, teaching them how to do it, how to choose the materials. But after teaching them that, you can say, hey, but if you don't want the hassle of all that, this is another way you can actually engage us, and we'll do it for you guys at a certain price. And the key thing is, in this market, whereby there's so many people trying to differentiate yourselves, when you put out things like that, like DIY education content, it's like so refreshing. Why? Because you set yourself as, yes, you're a service provider, um, and you want to sell your services, but at the same time, you're also concerned about the market and providing value to the people, right? So because of that, people sometimes look at you upon as a neutral party, like, hey, these guys are great, this company is great, if I engage them, it's cool. But if not, they actually give me step-by-step tutorials on how to do it myself. And they actually, that builds a lot of trust and rapport with potential prospects, and it actually will convert a lot of them into customers. Okay, other lead magnet ideas for e-commerce: you can tie in free shipping, give in a bonus gift with their first order, discount coupons, or even education content using products you sell. Like maybe if you sell cosmetics, maybe then you know for a lead magnet you might have, okay, makeup tutorials, cheat ways to do makeup in like 5 minutes, things like that. So especially this is very powerful because you're giving them education content using the products that you sell. So when you're teaching them how to use it, you're actually also pre-selling them, kind of. And then of course the software, we can give away free demos or free trials, like right just now, or even a freemium account. If you have a free version and a paid version, if that works for you, depending on like I think MailChimp, for the first 1,000 subscribers, they actually give away freemium accounts, whereby you can sign up with them, and then when you have more subscribers in your database, you can then convert to the paid version. So many lots and lots of different ideas. You can really be creative with that. Okay, different mediums to give away free gifts. Okay, next I would like to talk about the next part of the funnel. Now that you figured out, you have thought about how you can create your lead magnet, in the different mediums, the different ways, and how to attract them. The next thing that you want to focus on is conversions. Okay, so these are some examples. This is an example of a homepage versus a landing page. Okay, for some people they have blogs or a website, and for a homepage, Um, there's so many links that talks about the company, talks about different products, it links to about us, the team. But um, when you're doing lead generation, you want to have a dedicated landing page, okay, whereby this page has only one sole purpose, and that is to first tell the prospect, the visitor, what they can potentially get for free, and then all you have to do is enter the name and email. The key objective of a dedicated landing page is to collect their data, get them to enter the name or email, right? So yes. So if you are gonna do list building, you definitely need a dedicated landing page. A home page, because there's so many links, there's so much distractions. You cannot use that to actually list build. This is another example of a dedicated landing page, opt-in page. As you can see, there's a headline. It talks about learn the number one secret about cool tablet computers. Basically, this lead magnet is to educate people if they want to buy, a tablet computer, what they should do, what are things they have to look out for. So there's only one thing you can do on this page is either enter your name and email, to get the lead magnet, to get the free gift, or just to close the page. Okay. This is another example about wine investments. They want to talk about, I believe they want to introduce you to, you know, um, an amazing opportunity about investing in wine, and they want to show you data on it. So this whole page has only one purpose: is for you to enter your details inside and download the free brochure report. Okay. So you have to remember that not all dedicated opt-in pages are created equal. So there are certain ways to actually create a good one. Okay, and I'm going to go through some key points that you want to look at. Firstly, being a strong headline. Okay, as you've seen just now, for the wine investments, for the tablet computers, at the top there's always usually a headline that grabs the reader's attention. So you definitely want to just be very specific about the benefit that you can bring to them. So that, because when their eyes look at the page, they're going to go to the headline. Majority of them going to look at the headline straight first. Okay, so you want a strong headline that stresses a specific benefit. This is not a copywriting um, seminar. So if you want to learn about writing good headlines, you can go over to this link, copyblogger.com, magnetic headlines. Yeah, so you can learn more about headlines over there. Okay. Secondly, less form fills. What do I mean by form fills? If you remember, let me go back to the wine. uh, they're asking for a lot of information: first name, last name, email address, and phone number, and then the country. Okay. In this case, there's 5 form fields. The more form fields you have, the lower your conversions for people who visit to enter. Why? Because it's simply just putting people off because they have to enter so much information. Some people just get tired. Some people don't want to share their phone number, which makes sense. So you have to decide, to collect only information that is relevant for you. For example, I wouldn't, split first name and last name separately. I'll just keep it like, I'll just collect their first name, their email. For phone number, that's tricky. It depends on the kind of business you're doing. If you're in B2B, in a B2B business, maybe you need the phone number so that you can follow up with them. But do remember, the more information you ask for, it really puts people off because they're worried that you want to call them or something like that. So maybe I would really suggest, just ask for name and email first. Have your content work it out. Build rapport and trust through your emails, and then after that, then go for the sale or go for consultation. Set up the appointment later on. You know, yeah. So less form fills, the better. Some people just go straight just for email. mm, you know, whereby they don't need a name and they just collect email, and that works for some businesses. So it depends. Okay. Third point: opt-in form above the fold. What do I mean by that? Um, when you have a dedicated squeeze page, an opt-in page, you want to make sure at the first glance from your computer that you know the prospect can actually enter their name and email immediately. They don't have to scroll down to enter it. So that's what we mean above the fold. So you want to position where you're collecting the data at the top. Okay. And I know for compliance sake, for like Google AdWords and all that, um, usually you would need a longer opt-in page. So a way to get around that is to actually have the first opt-in above the fold, whereby you ask for name and email and you offer the free gift at the top. And then after that, you have all your content in the middle. And then lower down, again, you ask for name and email. So that's another way to get around it, okay? And fourthly, good graphics, okay? If you're offering a product, a checklist, a manifesto, a white paper, you want to get, if you can, design a nice graphical representation of it. I mean, at the end of the day, I know they're not really getting a free book, a free report, right? But people are very visual people. So you just want to create a nice graphic with it. You can hire it out, get a graphic designer do it for you. You can go to Fiverr.com, for 20 bucks, someone can design a really nice graphic for you. Or background images on your squeeze page. You want to make sure they're relevant, very eye-catching. Yeah. Okay. And of course, fifth, constantly split tests. Here's the thing. There are a lot of, for example, you might have a good headline, your form views are reduced already, you have good graphics, and then your opt-in form is above the fold. But there's so many ways that you can design different landing pages, different squeeze pages that are different, and you need to constantly split test. So this is some examples of split tests that we run. Okay, in the first example, you see there's a 148% increase in conversion, because of a certain style that we use. So we would not know this data if we only had one opt-in page. So I would definitely urge every one of you to, always split test, at least. So you want to have two variations running whenever you have a campaign out there. For us, we split test, the heck out of everything. Uh, and we've seen really, really considerable improvements in our ROI. Okay, A- and the second example over here. Okay, there's a 12.4 increase. So, using a certain template, we managed to get an opt-in conversion up to 62% compared to 55%. So that's an absolute increase of 6.8%, but relatively a 12.4% increase. That's huge, guys, because, if you're running a lot of traffic to your opt-in pages, your squeeze pages, every bit counts. It could mean the difference between a campaign that's profitable, break even, or negative. So this is something I would definitely urge you to do, because in every vertical, in every market, in every industry, consumers and prospects all behave differently. So you definitely want to split test and see what works. Okay, and this is an example of a squeeze page, an opt-in page that's really simple, not a lot of graphics, but does really well. It's by the Motley Fools, yeah. Their financial website, education website. So over here you see a headline which talks about cable TV is dying. Here's what comes next. Okay, and then it has some information about how you can actually profit in the markets based on this information, and they ask you for their email. So as you can see, this is very simple opt-in page. There's not much design element to it, but the Fool, I mean, Monty Fool does very well with this kind of sales pages. So they understand the demographics. Generally older people, conservatives. They don't really like snazzy design, nice designs. They just like cut the bullshit, give it to me. So that's why probably their opt-in page is designed like that. So you wouldn't know that this squeeze page would do well until you test it, right? So that's why it goes back to my fifth point just now about constantly split testing your opt-in pages so that you will eventually get something that works really well for yourself. Okay, okay. And for some of you guys, sometimes maybe you don't have an in-house web designer or in-house webmaster, so you're not sure how to create those kind of opt-in pages. Well, there are services and tools out there to help you with that. Here are some of them: ClickFunnels, Lead Pages. These are all online services whereby a drag and drop helps you create your opt-in pages. They have a lots of templates too. Then there's also WordPress plugins like InstaBuilder and Optimize Press, whereby you pay one time and then you can use their plugin to actually create squeeze pages using their software. So these are just some tools that you can check out if you're not so tech savvy, or your business is just starting out. You don't have so much resources to hire people full time. Yeah. And thirdly, the third part of ACE is engage, right? So what do you mean by that? Engage is when you already put up a lead magnet right out there. And then the visitor decided yes, they wanted, they entered name and email. So you already converted them into a subscriber. So the third stage here now is engage, whereby you actually want to, it's how you communicate with them. Okay. And um, just to let you know, the first email that you sent out actually sets the standard and tone of how you can continue to communicate with them. Okay. So if your first email was very formal, you sent out an EDM, which was like a newsletter based, like it just is very formal, not so personal, then they would know that, okay, future communications, they would kind of guess, it would kind of be like that, more cold. So it really depends on your brand, your company, the business, or the service that you're offering, you know. But here's some points that I usually go through for my first email. And yeah, so first, in my first email, the first point, I always want to talk again about the gift. I want to remind them about what they sign up for, because people forget all the time. So I say, okay, I talk about, hey, you're getting this gift that's going to help you, blah, blah, blah. These 2 points. And then I'll include the link to the gift so that they can download it. Okay. And then I'll ask them for feedback, like, hey, let me know how you think, what do you think about this white paper, share with me. And then also at the same time, I remind them of the special offer, if there's any that I'm making to them, a subtle sell. And I also introduce myself or the company, talk a little bit more about what we do, okay? And then also prepare uh, the subscriber to receive future emails, meaning that I'll actually tell them, hey, in the meantime, in the future, you definitely want to look out for our emails because we'll be talking about this, that, this interesting stuff, or, we're going to talk about more useful tips on how you can, do whatever you need to do, things like that. So that first email actually sets all that. Because if you remember, um, after they enter the name and email at your squeeze page, they go to the thank you page whereby they can consume the free gift too. But after that, they might just forget about you, close the page, and all that. So you just want to set all this in your first email so that you can then remind them again that they did sign up. They did ask for a free gift from you, just in case they forget. Okay, and I'm going to give you read through an example of one of the first email example for one of our offers. Okay, this is a personal development product that we have. And so this was the subject. I mean, I'll go through it now. So subject of it was access details, your secrets of the ages download. So basically, the gift that we're giving to them was called Secrets of the Ages. Okay. So over here, hi, and then there's some coding. This is for Send Lane. So so we go through it. Thank you for requesting Secret of the Ages. You see, I'm reminding them about it. I'm actually glad and honored to have to share with you some very important details on what you just acquired in your hands. Because on the next couple of emails, you'll find how to intentionally attract all the things you want in life, no matter how unrealistic they may seem at the present. I'll also show you the key, as they say, to having the wealth, success, fulfilling, debt-free, and purpose-rich life you've imagined for yourself all these years. And with that said, I want to make sure you're able to read a bit about the basics of what I just mentioned above. You can download it by clicking here. So this is where we give them the free gift, okay? So now please let me know if there's any way I can improve it for more value. So in this case, you can see I'm asking for feedback, right? So I want them to actually, if possible, go through the report that we give to them and then let us know what they think about it. You have to ask for it. If you don't say it, less people will email you back. In the meantime, I'll be following up with you, providing you with additional insights and a new, fresh way to look at the single greatest yet little known secrets to manifesting. You're in for something special anyway. Okay, so this is where I'm kind of like, uh, you know, telling them, what kind of emails they'll be getting from me in the future. Just in case you don't know who I am, my name is Zoe. Okay, this is the author for this product, so I'm introducing myself, right? So this is where you want to talk about your brand or company, And I'm part of the Ancient World Secrets team and also founder of the Cosmic Ordering Secrets program. You probably heard of me. Okay, so these are all what we call tricks, whereby you probably heard of me. So we're kind of like saying, if you didn't hear me, you should have, right? Okay. Anyway, this is not copywriting. Cost. So anyway, go back. I'm a life coach. In the past 8 years alone, I've helped thousands of people get whatever they desire in life using a little known, rarely understood method. I've also coached hundreds of others and showed them exactly how to manifest abstract things and desires into reality. And maybe, just maybe, I can do the same for you. So this is like subtly selling them too. Anyway, that's all you need to know about me and my program, because this email is really about you. Okay, very good, because it refocus it on them. Besides, I'll share more of my story in my program on the upcoming emails, right? Remember, I talk about preparing them, so that they'll, if they're interested, they want to look up for your other emails, and they will know, when they do get the other emails from you, they also know that, hey, oh yeah, I know I'm getting this because Zoe told me that, she's sharing more about her story and her program in the upcoming email. So they're not in for a rude shock when you start telling them stuff in the future emails. So it goes on. I've created this valuable resource to make sure people don't spin their wheels for the rest of their entire life and set them on a certain path to creating a legacy of their own choice and not someone else's. Here's the resource. So this resource is actually a sell to what we're selling right here. Okay, so as you can see, we delivered the gift to them and we also did a sell. Oh, and one other thing, after you click the link, tell me what do you think of that added resource. Again, asking for feedback. I'll wait for your reply. So this is a more personal kind of style of email, because in this case, we're selling a product. It's a life, the author is a life coach. So it's more personal in that sense. So you have to think for your branding. I mean, it has to be in line with your branding and how you sell. Generally, I would say personality, having being personal, actually would sell a lot better. Okay. So, secondly, to engage, you want to set up an automated email series. Okay, with the third-party platforms like Aweber, GetResponse, Sendlane, and Mailchimp, you can do that easily. So, generally, for myself, I would automate 12 to 15 emails at the start. Okay, over 1 to 2 months, meaning that I would actually preset those emails. So once a person actually joins my list as a subscriber, the first email, it gives them the link again to the gift, the lead magnet that I promised them, and then I'll do a sell as you've seen just now, and then I'll have other emails following up every 2 or 3 days. It'll be telling stories, engaging them, talking about, sharing with them different articles, or sometimes I might even link out to a YouTube video pertaining to my product that I found interesting and helpful for them. You know, so this actually helps to build rapport and trust with them. A key thing you have to remember is to entertain and educate at the same time. Um, because people don't like boring emails. You have to make it interesting. Okay, that's how you would stand out. That's how your subscribers would want to look forward to your emails, because it has personality and it's entertaining. And at the same time, you would also use that opportunity to educate them more about your product or service. Okay, and one key thing, never forget to sell at the same time in your emails. It can be a subtle sell, or maybe for certain emails in the follow-up series, you can do a hard sell. But a key thing you want to remember is to do the sell, right? Some people actually advocate like, hey, just provide great time and don't sell anything. Okay, that can potentially backfire. Why? Because after your first email, after getting like 12 to 15 emails from you, if you didn't sell anything right then, your subscribers are already conditioned that, hey, I don't need to buy anything eventually. The condition that they constantly get good content from you. So when you do send out an email that sells something, a lot of them might feel betrayed, like, hey, why are you selling me something? You're supposed to give me stuff for free. So you definitely want to constantly do subtle sales throughout your email, so that people know, yeah, while you're educating them, while you're entertaining them, you're also telling them about a solution to their problems at the same time, so that they will not, they won't be shocked when you actually send strong, hardcore promotional emails. Okay. So how often do you send emails? Okay, after the automated series ends, the 12 to 15 emails that you set up, you also want to send constant emails to them for top of mind recall for your brand, your product, or for yourself if you're a coach. Okay, and I would recommend at least one email a week. Okay, at least if you're not sending your emails at least once a week, over time your subscribers will kind of forget who you are. They might even I've read instances whereby I didn't send an email to a list for a long time. When I send it out, they click on spam. They've forgotten who I am. you know so I personally send at least 3 emails a week, but of course this depends on the brand, the product, or the service that you're offering. uh, and These some examples of some people who actually send daily. Some businesses, growthhackingidea.com, they actually send out one growth hacking idea a day, right? So for their business model, that makes sense. Daily Worth is a financial website for women, so they send out financial information content every single day. Okay, so you have to decide for yourself. Okay, how often do you want to send emails? Okay, just share with you guys. For me, I send, like I said, 3 times a week. But every time I send out emails and there's a subtle sell, we generate sales. Okay. Some of you might be thinking, what if I send email and people get pissed off and unsubscribe? Um, Here's the thing. After years of experience, when I send out an email that is purely content, purely to educate them, people still get pissed and they still unsubscribe. When I send out a promotional email to sell something, people still get pissed and they still unsubscribe. So what does that mean? You cannot, appeal. You cannot make everyone happy. There will be people who will be unhappy, who will be pissed off, regardless of what you send out. So with that in mind, I've realized over the years that, you know, just send out your emails. Educate, entertain them, and then do a subtle sell. And I realized that the more emails I sent, the more money our company makes. So I would actually like to send daily emails, but it's just very time consuming right now to do that for us, to generate the kind of content to send it at such a frequent basis. But it's definitely possible. But so you definitely want to relook and see how this all would fit in with your overall strategy of email marketing. But definitely send out one email a week. All right. And like I mentioned just now, personality would always beat brand. Okay, because it's more relatable, and with personality you can be really entertaining. um, and people really love stories. Okay, let me give you an example. Let's say, for example, I'm a life coach, and then I was driving on the highway today, and there was a traffic jam on the highway and the expressway, and then usually it's not jam, but there's a big jam. And then when I realized, maybe after driving for 5 minutes, I realized that, oh, there was a big jam because there was an accident on one of the lanes. And as you can see, there are 5 lanes on the expressway, and just one lane would create such a big jam. So I mean, as a life coach, I could easily spin the story about how everything moves so smoothly, but just one little hurdle, one little problem sometimes jams us all up. And I'll use the jam on the highway, the traffic jam, as an analogy, because normally everything is so smooth with 5 lanes, but just even having one lane, having an accident would jam up everything. So these are all stories that you can then use in your emails, because people actually look forward to this kind of stuff. Yeah, you'll be surprised. And when you inject more personality, when you add in, I mean, of course, if it makes sense for business, your daily activities and how it relates to business, you actually be surprised. Try it out. That people will actually email you back and tell them their stories, tell them how they experience the same things. So there's a lot of engagement uh, with this kind of emails. Okay, so you want to think about how you can use personality in your emails. Okay, um, okay, you know, um, I don't have really that much time to cover about exactly how to write emails, so I would like to recommend this person, Ben Cito. Okay, go over to this website, bencito.com. You see the page that looks like that. Okay, I don't make a single cent recommending this, but if you sign up for his newsletter, he actually sends out daily emails. You want to look at how you want to learn at how he actually is able to use any kind of content, any kind of situation, and how he actually injects personality in his email. So sign up over here. Just look at how he writes the emails. Over time, you really learn a thing or two from this guy. And of course, he has a paid program. I think it's $97 a month. I'm signed up for it, but that's purely optional. Don't have to bother about that. Just firstly sign up for his emails, see how he writes the emails, think about how you can modify that for your own product, for your own company, for your own brand. Okay, so I hope this is useful. Okay, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about an alternative traffic source. A lot of people talk about Google, Facebook, and yes, with the targeting for Google, the keyword targeting, for Facebook, demographic targeting, those are very powerful traffic sources, and you can scale up on those. Okay, but I would like to share something else, an alternative traffic source that allows me to spend right now about $150,000 a month on it. Okay, it's not a lot of money, and I would like to spend more. But yeah, as I have more products, I'll be able to scale it up. But the key thing about this alternative traffic source is that it's less strict on compliance. I'm sure all you guys know about Facebook and Google, depending on which industry you're in. They can be really pain in the ass about compliance. Not that being compliant is bad, but it would take you some time to build out a compliant page to run advertising on. Or sometimes on Facebook, you might get banned. They don't tell you why, and then you got to talk to them. So this is not about you wanting to run non-compliant offers, but it's more about, you don't have to do the whole setup and quick. You can actually quickly run something here on this alternative traffic source to test your product offers first, while you are still building, your landers for Facebook and Google. Okay. And this alternative traffic source has allowed me to add thousands of subscribers to my list, thousands of prospects, thousands of customers every single day when I use it. Okay, so what am I talking about? It's basically dedicated email drops. Okay, so what's a dedicated email drop? Okay, basically you're advertising on other people's or other companies' newsletters, email lists. Okay, do take note, you're just buying access to advertise on their list, whereby they would actually send an email on your behalf. Okay, some people interpret it as you're buying their emails. No, that's against can spam laws. You're basically just advertising on the email. They're sending an email on your behalf to advertise something for you. So you can choose to have them send an email to advertise and promote your opt-in gift, your lead magnet, or promote your product. Okay. And in terms of pricing, they usually charge cost per thousand CPM, and it ranges from $5 to $40 depending on the industry, the vertical, the newsletter, and how the strength of it. Okay. So where can you find them? These are some websites. List Nixmark. Nixmark. You can go over there. You'll find that there are a lot of different list publishers that you can advertise on. They list out the prices, and then they're a broker that you can then get in touch to communicate and see where you can advertise on. Newsmax.com. Their health, financial, and money website. So they have a lot of different newsletters that you can advertise on. I advertise a lot on them. Okay, dedicated emails and JRW marketing. These are what we call list brokers. When you set up, you can actually talk to one of their representatives, and you can tell them what kind of offer you have, and then they'll recommend certain lists that you can advertise on. So these are the sources that I use actually at this moment in time. Okay, just give me an example of uh, the kind of information you can get when you're advertising. So this is Newsmax. So if you go to their website, click on advertise and find their media kit, they actually give you details. Like for example, over here, they tell you about their main database called Newsmax. They have 1.6 million opt-in subscribers. And then they tell you about what people on their emails are looking out for. It talks about well-being, health, wealth, lifestyle, and then they give you them data on the age group 45 and above, majority male, right? So if you have a beauty product you don't want to advertise here, they talk about all the kind of demographic information. This is another one, money news. So 78% are male, and then age 55, older crowd, right? So usually for this kind of, they will actually give you details like that so that you know whether it's a right fit for you to advertise on them or not. Okay, so how do you approach them? You just prepare your landing page and the offer, and you let them know and ask them for recommendations. Of course, whatever they recommend, you have to vet it yourselves. Ask them for the media kit and the rates that they charge for the different lists that you can advertise on. They're always different. Like for Newsmax, for every different list, it's a new CPM price. It's different, and you can ask them why. They have what we call a bias list. For us, we advertise supplements, so they have a store list that's about, I think, 100,000, whereby it's all customers of supplements. So, advertising to that list is so much more targeted when we sell our supplements. But of course, the cost of advertising on that kind of list, it's more powerful. It gets better response, gets better sales. It'll be higher price. Okay. So I would always recommend that you always do a test buy first. You ask, the representative, you don't want to spend like, straight up, you don't want to spend 10, 30, $40,000 on just one email drop. You want to ask them, hey, can I do a test buy? So that you can test whether their list is a right fit for your audience. Because you can have all the demographics, you can have all the information, but real data is still the best. So ask them if they can do a test buy of $1,000 to $2,000. Most of the time they'll say fine. So that's how I usually scale up my traffic using email drops. In the past, like Newsmax, when I first started out with them, I said I wanted to do a test buy. The test buy did well, and then I for one of the newsletters we paid like $12,000 for one email drop, and then we made $42,000 on that. In terms of revenue. So it's pretty good ROIs if your offer works. Spend 12,000, make 42. That's quite good. But of course, you need to constantly tweak and split test all your offers and see whether it's the right fit. Okay. With that, I'm really glad that, and I hope I provided value to you guys over here on how you can actually start list building, lead generation. My only regret really is not focusing on this area of lead generation early on in my career. I only started focusing it more in 2010. And even then, I had to like slowly tweak and modify um, uh, the techniques. Now we are 100% focusing on that. That's why our company is growing so much more faster. So this is definitely an area that, like I said, if you're not focusing on it yet, you want to focus more on it because it will definitely increase the bottom line, the numbers of your company. So thank you guys for having me, and we'll now move on to Sharon and the Q&A.